Hey everybody, Respawn Gentleman here. So they just released another update for Dark Alliance. If you're on PC or Xbox, this is going to be update version 1.18. And if you're on PlayStation, it'll be 1.06. There's a whole bunch of stuff that is actually good for once. So let's jump right into this. So here we are on the Dark Alliance website. You see the patch notes right here behind me. We're starting off with a big one. A lot of people have been asking for this, but it says lore items, now it makes sense achievement. This achievement now triggers correctly. If you collected all the collectibles before the game update, you will need to create a brand new character and pick up a single collectible for the achievement to pop. The one at the base camp works. I haven't been able to test this one because I totally deleted my character that had all the collectibles. So please let me know down in the comments if you've been able to get that achievement to work now. I'm really curious because I know this one has been a big one that people have been asking about for a long time, basically since the game started. Next, we have increased font size. Text for objects, dialogue, and journal entries have now been increased in font size. I think that's good because a lot of the text on the game is really, really small. So having it bigger is a lot better. So scroll down. Next, we have AI improvements. Now, I did some testing on these, so I'll let you know my findings when I get to them. But it says the following changes have been made to enemy AI. When teleporting, enemies now use the player's position at the start of the teleport. To me, I didn't really get to test that, but I feel like that means that you won't get hit automatically every single time they teleport. They'll teleport to where you were, not to where you are, which I think is actually a huge benefit to players. So if that's the case, that is awesome. It says fixed an issue in which the Stygian charger in the Order of the One Light Act 1 was unresponsive after being attacked. I personally never experienced that, but hey, they fixed it. Whoever found that before. See, enemies now notice the player more quickly after being dropped in multiplayer. I can't attest to that. I still haven't been able to get connected on a multiplayer match, and that's yeah. But if that happens, then hey, maybe they'll react quicker. Through my testing, I haven't seen any difference in reactions. They seem to be about the same. See, enemy transition out of their taunt to attack the player character as soon as the player character is in range. That is no, not true. That is not what happens. I tested this with Drist, and I stood next to a goblin, like literally I could touch him, and he sat there, finished his taunt, and still was standing there for like another 1 to 2 seconds before he attacked me. So that is not working. Yeah. Also, enemies are now more difficult to stun lock. Also, did some testing with Drist, and it seems like they're more easy to stun lock now. I was stun locking everything way more than I could before. So I think they got that backwards. And let's see, next we have some exploits that were removed. It says the following exploits have been removed, allowing the game to function as intended. Fixed several issues in which Ice Wind's boss fight phases could be bypassed. I actually didn't even know that was an exploit. I wish I did, because that would be great, because that's kind of an annoying boss fight. And really lackluster for what it could have been. But anyways, the crystals can no longer be infinitely upgraded after downgrading them once at the merchant in Kelvin's cairn. I think I had heard about this one, but honestly, crystals are so easy to come by, and so is money. Like, you really don't even need to do anything with them. You get, yeah. And especially, like, if you follow my guide where I show you how to get infinite epic gear, you don't even need commons, uncommons, and rares. Just as soon as you get those crystals, just upgrade them to epic, and there you go. And then when you start getting legendaries, you can just upgrade all your epics to legendaries, and bam, there you go. So that's not really an issue. Next are some control tweaks they made. See, the following adjustments have been made to the controls. Restored a missing keybind for opening the player menu by using a keyboard in the options menu. Obviously, that's for PC players. I play it on Xbox, so I couldn't attest to that being an issue, but that seems to be fixed now. See, fixed an issue in which the mouse was not functional when attempting to navigate the party management screen and the journal in the character sheet. Yeah, that would be extremely annoying. Again, I play on Xbox. I can't really test that one. So if that one is fixed now, then fantastic. There's a whole bunch of multiplayer ones. So We'll kind of go through these real quick. It says the following improvements have been made to the multiplayer experience. Party hosts can now access the trophies menu in Basecamp, so I guess they couldn't before. Resolve the delay when attempting to pick up quest essential items in multiplayer. Okay, that would, yeah, I could see how that would be extremely annoying. Fixed an issue in which players would sometimes join a public session after accepting an invite from a friend. Yeah, that would. All of these sound like real bad problems. Stability improvements, that I don't know what that means. Matchmaking improvements, that's not really clear. That's kind of vague. Both of those. Fixed an issue in which players were unable to enter boss rooms after teleporting to the party leader. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Fixes to rubber banding. I guess people were using like AFK techniques or whatever. Fixed an issue in which muted players would get unmuted automatically after returning to Kelvin's cairn. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. It's like I'm muted for a reason. They fixed an issue in which Caddy Bree's healing spirit effect lasted until the players were loaded back into the base camp. I mean, I don't really see that as an issue, but but you know, whatever. Fixed an issue where starting an act alone while in multiplayer set the act difficulty to challenge rating 1. Well, yeah, that's pretty bad, especially if you're all level 20s and you're trying to farm, you know, the level 5 legendary gear. Getting it and challenge rating 1 isn't going to help that at all. So I'm glad they fixed that. The quick play bonus now provides XP on the tally screen, which is good. Fixed an Alchemist fire damage not displaying in multiplayer. Fixed an issue in which the forced respawn button would disappear after pressing start. Oh wow, it took them this long to fix it? The Coldstone Guardian's armor set's bonus invulnerability now expires after Bruner's whirlwind ability has finished in multiplayer. I know that was a glitch before, where if you had a full Coldstone Guardian set, the invulnerability would click in, and you would just be invulnerable for like the whole rest of the match, and you could totally cheese it. I never had a full Coldstone Guardian set, so I couldn't actually test it, but I did see some other people do it, and I was like, that's kind of cool, but also, it's not as fun. But to each their own. Next, we have combat and gameplay. The following changes affect the overall combat and gameplay experience. Reduce the delay for characters getting up after being knocked down during combat. I got knocked down a couple of times. I didn't see any difference in the delay. It still took forever to get up, unless you spam A and just like jump off your back. It's really weird. Fixed collision issues, now allowing player to go out of the world. Okay. Improvements to the enemy threat indicator HUD. Oh, maybe it actually will point at the correct enemies and not be like, hey, there's an enemy behind you when they're right in front of you. I always hated that. Fixed several issues involving enemies spawning inside level terrain. Yeah, I've seen that a few times. It's pretty funny. UI and objective marker improvements. Fixed an issue in which stamina usage was inconsistent between different heroes. Yeah, some use way more stamina than others, that's for sure. Fixed issues in which characters would get stuck to training dummies and some enemies while in melee combat. I guess I never really experienced that, but I guess that's fixed now. Fixed burning debuff when character walks into a lava fall. I haven't walked into too many lava falls, so I guess that's a thing that happens sometimes. Added VFX for the Frost Giant's Ground Shatter AoE attack. Oh, so I guess they didn't have visuals on that. Yeah, no, that one was kind of invisible, so I guess that makes sense. Okay. Alrighty, and then lastly here, we have progression. The following changes affect character progression and building. Several instances of player progression being reset. I'm glad that's fixed. I know several people have had that issue. Fixed an issue in which characters would not level up upon returning to base camp after completing a challenge rating 6 mission. Yeah, I remember seeing a bunch of people talk about that too. Fixed an issue in which loot completion rewards would not be displayed in the tally screen after completing an act. I don't think that's really much of an issue because you still would get the rewards even if they didn't technically show up. So that one's kind of but okay. This next one is the biggest one. It's so huge. I'm so happy for it. I don't care about everything else. This is one of the things that I love the most. Remove the 10-second wait time before the tally screen after a player successfully completes an act. The tally screen can now be skipped. It means as soon as you finish a mission, that's it. boom, done. You can skip right back to the base camp and not have to sit through all of the tallying down. It's just like it's fine like the first few times, but once you've like, especially once you've reached level 20, like half of that is useless to you. So you're just literally sitting there for no reason. So I'm really, really glad that they fixed that. They fixed issues with stat and combat power calculations in the UI. So I guess things weren't calculating correctly. So hopefully, that's kind of resolved now. That's basically all of the patch notes that they have. There's some things that I was hoping for. I was hoping that they would add the couch co-op in the next update, but apparently that didn't happen. Or the free DLC that they've been talking about on the roadmap that's still supposedly coming at some point, but who knows? There's not a lot of new things that I think would keep people, or that would bring people back. There's things that would keep the people that are there for sure, but not anything that's going to bring people back to the game or bring in new people. They really, really, really need to release that free DLC with the new map and get that couch co-op going. I feel like that would be huge for this game. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I make guides on all sorts of different games. In the description below, I have a poll going right now to see what games you guys would like to see me make more videos on. So make sure to vote. It's going to be on every single one of my videos, so you won't miss any chances for it. Thanks for watching.